Let's begin. I guess, welcome to the Crypto Street Pod Talk podcast, episode number 1 with myself, Killer Whale, Crypto Dale, Crypto Bully, our special guest, and Prince.
Hey.
What's up?
Hey.
So Dale, you want to kind of get us going on the first topic? Just kind of get started on, I think we're going to ask each other some questions, kind of let the audience get to know each other a little bit, or get to know us a bit.
Yeah. Who's going to start us off here?
I'll go first. Ask Killer.
Oh.
So when you got in, Killer, or right now, what's your favorite thing about crypto?
My favorite thing about it is the community, I think. It's just such a fun environment. I mean, obviously, making money is probably number 1, honestly. Number 2 is probably the community. I think it's just a really fun place. It's awesome getting to interact with everybody. It's a fun thing to talk about. It's sort of like a little secret society, which is cool. So I think that, it's a sense of, common interest, and you have like a special little niche. It's kind of cool. So, good question.
What's your biggest regret so far? In crypto or life?
Doing this podcast, right? This is good right off the bat.
Not making the pod sooner, probably. I don't know, dude. Probably not getting into crypto earlier, I think we obviously all wish we could be around in like 2009, 2010, when you got Bitcoin under $1, which is pretty incredible. So maybe that, What would you guys think about that?
Yeah, that's a regret. My dad told me about Bitcoin back in 2013, and I told him he was an idiot. So here I am. Now I'm in it, but some regret there.
Google searching Bitcoin and where to buy it, and like in 2014, and I couldn't find it, so I'm just like, piss on it, I'll move on.
I think everyone's got one of those.
Tell us a little bit about how you got involved, how you got started in the space, when you got started, your experiences.
Me? Prince?
Bully.
Oh, Bully. Okay.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll hop right in. So, I'll just go into my background a bit. So I'm a corporate attorney, and I've been practicing for several years. And one of my clients was a venture capital fund, and they were looking at doing an investment in a blockchain company. So they were asking me about it, and I didn't know shit about it. So I went and started doing some research and talked to a few developers at our company, and they just sort of laughed about it, and I kept digging, and I came across Ethereum. With my corporate background, I actually sort of liked Ethereum because it seemed like it had corporate backing and it was a little more legitimate. At least that's what I thought at the time. So I think that was in like February of this year. So I just like hopped on Coinbase and created an account and threw some spare change at Ethereum. I think it was at like $7 at the time or something crazy. And then, I'd go on Reddit. I was a big Redditor at the time, and I'd go to the Ethereum subreddit and shit post there about all the various things happening with Ethereum.
Is that where you got half your followers from?
Yeah. No, the other half I bought, so.
Yeah.
Of course you did.
Hook me up with that contact.
Ethereum, I thought the exact same thing, being from like a corporate background, like a working office job, all that. That was kind of the thing that impressed me about it. The Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, I saw that. I was like, wow, this looks pretty legitimate, You look into some of the venture capital firms that are backing it or backing decentralized applications around it, It's pretty impressive. So that was, it's kind of interesting that you thought the same thing. And I think a lot of people kind of think that based on new people to the space. They're like, why would you ever buy Bitcoin? And I think they don't really get that there are some benefits to, the simplicity, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at like what happened this week with, the parity issue and the $250 million effectively disappearing, you can see how maybe Ethereum just got a little too complicated. And these various smart contracting things just may have gotten a little ahead of themselves.
Yeah, it's almost like they've grown a little faster than probably they were even anticipating at points. So now they're hitting those little roadblocks that, typically if you got a little more time, you can get dealt with. But.
Yeah, and I'm sure like the guys who created it never thought that it would become like, a $30 billion commodity within a couple of years.
Exactly. Like the growth is just insane. So yeah, these things are gonna happen. That's that's kind of the name of the game when you're in this stuff.
That's true. Yeah, so I got interested in Ethereum, and then I started realizing there were other coins, and I heard about Golem, and it seemed like a really interesting product, and this sort of decentralized storage concept that you see in a few cryptocurrencies. So I created a Polo account, I think on April 1st. I always remember that it was on April Fool's Day. I was off to the races then, and I haven't really looked back. I think I created my Twitter account around April as well. And, I think a lot of us got into crypto around then, sort of this new wave of us. And, we got lucky maybe with a bull market. And yeah, so maybe luck is as good as skill sometimes, but I'll take it.
Gotta be lucky to be good, right?
A Polo account on April Fool's, how fitting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's classic.
Well, so I guess I have it, so I'll jump in. I kind of started watching Ethereum or whatever probably 1st of July, and I saw it took a kind of a big dip there at the end, and so I finally talked my wife into letting me buy some of it. And then I sold it actually when it doubled. Then I lost probably that double playing with shit coins that I knew nothing about. Chasing pumps and what
par for the course. Yeah.
What I saw on Twitter. So I'm kind of just making my way back to. I'm a little above my initial investment, but
there you go.
A lot better than 2 months ago. That's for damn sure.
It's been a vicious market as of late. Like, I feel bad for a lot of the newcomers. Like I got in back in summer 2016. It was kind of around that XMR, the Monero pump when it was first going. It got up to like $14 or something, which look back on now just crazy. But it was that kind of big pump got me into it, and so it's been in it for a while. But it's like crazy, just the market as of late. It's been pretty vicious. If you're new to it, you don't know what to expect. These altcoins, we've seen a pretty ridiculous cycle going on here with that pump, and then the bear market. It's vicious. Blew up a lot of portfolios.
Yeah, and I mean, it could get a lot worse too. Like if Bitcoin just continues to break support on the way down, these altcoins aren't going to get any more valuable if Bitcoin's suffering. So it could get really bloody the rest of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people think we've seen like a lot of the bad, like, a lot of the downturn already, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see a pretty significant, further downturn. And I think a lot of people are kind of discounting that with a lot of coins. I think some alts have bottomed, but I think there could be a lot more blood.
Yeah.
Especially if, like you said, Bitcoin, heads down. And given some of the things we're hearing, even just rumors in the space, I think, I don't know. I really thought Bitcoin was going to hit 10K this recent run. But I'm starting to really doubt that and think that maybe that kind of mid-sevens range was the top for this sort of, run at least. So.
Yeah, it's hard to judge right now. Like it was a bit of a blow off top there when it had that pop up to about 75 and then dropped pretty quick. So that kind of scares me when I see that on the chart. And now, we've seen mid 5Ks, and now we got this Bitcoin Cash drama going on, and they're kind of pulling in higher hash rates than, normal Bitcoin. So there's so much drama going on. This is one of the most interesting times for my entire time in crypto right now. Like there's just so much going on.
Yeah,
there's so many new. Sorry, Bully. There's so much more money flowing in now, institutional money, that I think, we might see that bump. And then I think
even just watching the Tether creations, like this past week, I think there's a couple 100 million tethers created,
Fraudulent tethers.
Yeah, fraudulent tethers. But even watching those
every time
created,
I like read that or hear that or say it, even though it's the first time I've ever said it out loud. But it just cracks me up. I don't know.
That guy should be your second guest, by the way. Bitfinex guy.
Bitfinex. We really should.
I would love that.
Oh,
I would love that. Yeah.
But people would listen too. I really think they would. Be interesting to hear him. If he'd be willing to come on, we'd be willing to have him. So.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I want to, now that we've kind of gotten to know each other a little bit, talked about our entries into the space. I want to talk a little bit about one of the events that happened within the world of crypto Twitter, kind of relating to OPSEC and security and securing your funds and your accounts, was the hacking of Katie Zachary, aka Hot Kachina. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't know if it's pronounced like that. Again, one of those things I've never said before.
If you just say Hot Cat, everyone will know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
She got hacked allegedly. It looks like it, you know. You guys probably know a little bit more, so anybody want to share any insight on that?
Well, it's pretty scary, right? Like, it was I think, an eye-opener for a lot of people who are new into the crypto space. You know, you see a lot of comments all the time from some of these new people. Oh, if it's an anonymous Twitter account and they have some weird cartoon, profile picture, don't trust them. And, you know, now I think it was kind of a bit of a wake-up call. It's like, you know, there's a reason a lot of these crypto Twitter accounts stay anonymous or try to stay anonymous, right? These guys in this space are smart, and they're a lot smarter than I am, right? So you gotta be cautious, you gotta be a bit paranoid at all times.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, it seems like, at least with this, it brings in some interesting kind of gender issues too, because it seems like a lot of idiots were like DMing this poor woman, like, really inappropriate pictures. And then, you know, the hacker got access to these, and it sounds like he was trying to like fleece people, you know, basically like blackmail them to not release these photos. So
Jesus.
My wife was actually telling me this story about this ESPN celebrity who had a big Twitter following, and, you know, people kept texting him photos, and it, like, eventually it came to light that it wasn't an ESPN celebrity, but it was actually like a 14-year-old girl or something catfishing people on the other side.
No way.
So, like, you just have to be careful, and you can't be stupid. You can't be like sending strangers and people you don't know online pictures that could eventually be used against you. You know, it's almost like a honeypot.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good wake up call to the new guys coming in. When I first came in, I didn't even, you know, you don't even realize what is out there. And like you said, Prince, there's people in this space that are some of the smartest people that I've ever encountered in my entire life. So they'll find a way, and you can never be too careful. And you should never really fully trust anyone in this space.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know if you guys know Luke Martin. He's in the pod, and so of course you know him. He recently, like, basically doxed himself and came out from Venture Coinist to Luke, and, you know, I was talking to him about that because we can talk about this later, but I'm actually considering going back to a law firm and starting a cryptocurrency practice. And part of my thought was, well, I could, you know, basically dox myself and come out on Twitter as my actual, you know, professional name and things, but that carries with it a lot of risks. And, you know, it's kind of, there's a lot of weirdos. Like,
it's a tricky situation.
Yeah,
right?
And Dale, you
want to be able to think you can, and you know, you want to believe, yeah, I can just, you know, bring my identity out here. But honestly, it's crypto, right? Like, this is a whole different world.
Right. So I think you'd have to be like, you'd have to take all of these steps, right? You'd have to like change the name on your accounts and make sure that your OPSEC is like perfect, basically, because if somebody knows who you are, then, you know, it creates all of these OPSEC issues, which is probably the reason most people stay anonymous.
Yeah, you're an easier target.
For sure.
Yeah, it's scary stuff, you know. I don't know if you guys have been hacked before in like anything like a video game, you know, or one of your online accounts or your identity stolen, but it's a terrifying thing. So, you know, especially like you guys have mentioned, in terms of not really knowing as much technically about like the programming, coding side of this stuff. I think a lot of people are drawn to this space, obviously, from, you know, the possibility of making a lot of money. But they don't really know the technicalities of storing digital assets, and it's a completely foreign concept. I mean, I talked to my dad about this stuff, trying to explain hardware wallets and how it's secure, but if you make a mistake, there's nobody to help you out. You know, there's no phone line to call. There's no customer support. You know, I sent it to the wrong address. Can you refund me? No. Like, you're out of luck. Like, it fucking sucks, you know, but it's kind of what you get. With control comes responsibility. So, very important stuff.
You can always DM Loomdart, and I think he'll refund your money.
Or if you lose your Bitcoin, just DM Bully and he'll gladly send you a couple.
Yeah, that's Bully and Loon Diet.
We forgot to mention, everything in here is investment advice, 100%. You should do all of it immediately. And if it doesn't go well, contact Bully. He can be located on Twitter at Crypto Bully. He offers refunds, counseling.
Some of the best contests and giveaway in the space.
Just a great guy.
Anyway, next topic on hand. I think we're going to talk a little bit about maybe like a follow Friday, or like a sort of, example of this, or some people we can talk about. I guess I'll try to start off with somebody. Ledger Status on Twitter. He's a really active member of the pod. Great chart guy, technical analysis. Really valuable source for me if I'm wondering about a coin. He's a good guy to talk about. So Ledger Status, great follow.
How legit are his charts too in the pod? I mean, we could be sitting there bullshitting and he'll just come out of the blue. Hey guys, check out this.
The guy's serious 100% of the time.
He's awesome.
He's going. There's no breaks for him.
Yeah, anybody else have anybody you want to wrap?
Oh, I gotta give a shout out to Clutch, because he is taking some shit in the pod for being a Bitcoin Cash believer, and he is rolling in the dough now. So
He
fucking
is.
rights.
You mean the real Satoshi, right?
Yeah, he's the real Satoshi.
Satoshi's true vision.
Yeah.
Well done, Clutch. I agree.
Yeah, kudos to Clutch. He called that shit.
I say I like Lil Uzi Vert coin. He was one of the first guys that started charting and sharing his calls and charts with me when I first got in. So, he's not afraid to shill a coin if he's believing in it, but usually his technical analysis is spot on, and he's just a good dude. So, follow him.
I can't tell if I may have broken up a little bit there, but I think
Dale, your mic was funky there, I think, man.
You're funky.
Yeah, I'd probably give a shout out to Luke Martin. Might as well, since I just mentioned him. He's one of the pros in the space, and I think he may have started after me now, and he's miles in front of me. So, well done to Luke, and it's fun to see new guys kind of storm ahead and do really well in the space.
Yeah, the guy's got a work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bully, do you have any ICOs you are keeping an eye on that are coming up, that just happened, that you're looking forward to in the near future?
Yeah, I got a couple actually. So, I relentlessly shilled the Dragon Chain ICO.
I'm in there too, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything Disney sort of touches, I'm always interested in. I own Disney stock, and they just have a way of making money. So if their name's attached to something, it usually gets my attention. And granted, Dragon Chain just sort of was born from their incubator and doesn't really have an affiliation with them anymore, but it seems like the team is good. I like their idea for their product, and anything sort of in the enterprise corporate space, like I mentioned earlier, I'm usually attracted to. There's another ICO I'm keeping my eye on called Latium, which is almost like a TaskRabbit, but with cryptocurrency, I guess is the best way I'd describe it. So, it's a way to like get jobs online, and then, take like if you need to like paint a fence, or you want to do a logo for someone or something, it's a way to kind of do it all within the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So those are kind of oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Is it kind of like Fiverr, but on crypto?
Yeah, but I think like, you can charge whatever you want for it. I think Fiverr is just like $5, but
yeah.
So I think the ICO is in like a month or couple weeks or something on that. So I'm just sort of keeping my eye on that.
It's tricky out there with these ICOs now. It's like I can't even keep track of them all.
Yeah.
And every once in a while you stumble onto some that you think might be a gem, so you toss some money into it, but you gotta be so careful now. There's just so much garbage.
Yeah, ICOs are really frustrating me lately. It's just exactly like you said, it's way too saturated. I don't even know where to start in terms of looking for new ones. You know, I feel like it's like every couple of days I see something where I'm like, oh, that looks like a good thing to throw a little bit of money into, you know? But it's overwhelming, and I don't think it's smart to get into the habit of putting a little bit in like every little thing you come across that tickles your fancy. I think that's kind of the wrong way to go about it, and you're going to end up over diversifying if you do that.
Yeah, there was an ICO phase where, you know, everybody was buying it up as soon as it would hit the market. So it was, you know, it was kind of a no-brainer moneymaker, but now they're just, like you said, so saturated. People can't keep track, you know. The ICO flip game has ended quite a bit. Got a little music there.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think the interesting thing about ICOs is like, well, they're either so big that like you're going to just come in with a massive market cap and, you know, have a hard time making money, or they're so small that, you know, the guy's just going to run off to Madagascar with all the Ethereum or something. So it's like, it's hard to find that right balance between, you know, that's, you know, Dragon Chain's done, so I'm not shilling it anymore, but it only brought in like $13 million or something. So that's like, to me, that's kind of the sweet spot.
Yeah, I like that. Like, that's perfect.
Yeah, if it's a low market cap and a reputable project, I think that's kind of the good zone.
A lot of room for growth on that.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of something and kind of leads into our next topic as well. Just talking about lowish market cap ones. Next topic I want to talk about is just coins we're keeping an eye on that we think will do well going forward, that we like for some reason, that we think are undervalued. In my opinion, I've mentioned this one in the pod a few times. It's a token called AirSwap. It is a decentralized exchange protocol, run by some of the best people behind equity market making, liquidity providers and equity markets. So I think these guys know what they're doing. And now they're starting this decentralized exchange for cryptocurrency. I think it has some very smart minds behind it. The coin is currently at about 22 cents, perhaps. I want to say the market cap is around 30 million or so, maybe a little bit less. It's trading sub ICO price, so I think that's a good thing. So AirSwap, the symbol is AST. Keep an eye out.
What are you watching, Dale?
I know I'm gonna get some props from York on this, but one of my favorite is Komodo, KMD. I just really like, you know, button up on the ICO platform. They've got the decentralized ICO platform, their end-to-end blockchain solution. I haven't even checked Blockfolio lately, so I don't even know what it's trading at right now, but its market cap's about 200 million. It's got a pretty heavy supply, but I personally think that, it should about this time next year be about $10 a coin. If it's not, bully will make the difference. So that's kind of the one I've been keeping an eye on. I've been in it for a long time, and that's probably the one I get DMs about the most is, are you selling your KMD? And I'm like, dudes, I'm holding on to that thing until it's $10. All right.
Go into the grave with it.
Yeah. So don't ask me that. What about you, Prince?
Oh, I've been watching good old B Cash. So Bitcoin Cash, it's putting on a good show right now. Lots of drama.
Aren't you the new lead developer with Prince?
Yeah, Clutch.
Clutch, I mean?
Yeah, me and Clutch have been riding Bitcoin Cash now since it was, probably in 400s to 600s. And I'm not really planning on selling any yet. It's really interesting what's going on with it right now because this is such a game being played by some pretty deep pockets right now. I'm just kind of, along for the ride at this point. I'm already up pretty good on my initial buy-ins, so we'll see where it goes. But the biggest thing that's really shocked me is just the hash rate. We've never really seen Bitcoin be the second biggest hash for the chains. It's usually just their number one. So now we have Bitcoin Cash yesterday kind of took over some of the top hash spot, and it's kind of insane. You could actually almost feel it yesterday. People were scared. They didn't really know what to think. And you see Bitcoin drop down to, I think it was around 5,500 or something. And meanwhile, Bitcoin Cash is just pumping, people who are new to the space especially, that scares the shit out of you, right? And you could just feel the tension last night. It was crazy.
And you know what? It kind of came out of left field too, because we had this SegWit 2X thing coming up, you know, Bitcoin, gold, whatever. And I think everyone kind of had their eye on that for much of the past couple of months. And now we're just really close to the fact. They're like, change of plans, not going through with it, or maybe they are at this point, you know, with less of the hash power, majority.
Yeah.
But yeah, this current situation is, you know, it's kind of sudden, unexpected, so it's definitely been kind of freaky. And like you said, the hash power getting that close is something we haven't really seen before. So, you know, at least that I haven't seen since I've been involved. So definitely a concerning thing. I think Bitcoin Cash is always going to have, at least for the foreseeable future, and this might change with the miners, but I think it's going to have sort of a branding problem, kind of bring the other Bitcoin, and if they can get past that, which is going to be tough, I mean, that's going to be interesting, but I think that's going to be hard to do. But again, if they keep the hashing power, you know, and they kind of build on that, then who knows?
Yeah, you don't know, and especially in crypto, it's still so new. So much can happen, right? So I think a lot of people get locked into these ideologies about, you know, what coin is good, what coin is bad, and what coin they're never going to touch. You know, I think a great example of that was Ripple, and its parabolic rise it had a few months back, you know. Leading up to that, nobody wanted to touch Ripple. All these, you know, so-called Twitter OG accounts, you know, Ripple's the biggest shitcoin there is, never going to touch it. Next thing you know, meanwhile, they're all trash talking Ripple. Ripple's going through the roof, right? So, crypto likes to do that. They like to take the coins that nobody really likes, everybody wants to shit talk, and then they fucking send her way up, you know? So, there's still a lot of people. I think Bitcoin Cash still has higher to go, honestly, but we're gonna see. It's interesting.
It seems people either love it or hate it, and I think a lot of the reason people hate it is because they don't like Ver and Jihan, if you ask me, but...
Yeah, Ver and Jihan, they create quite the duo.
What are you watching, Bully?
You know, I like Mothership.
Hey, there we go.
I'm just sort of
That's a
watching
good one.
Mothership. It's at 9 cents right now, and you know, I think the total market cap right now is like $12 million, and it just seems like one of those projects that if it hits, it's going to be worth a whole lot more than $12 million.
It's a really good team behind that one, so it's like fundamentally that thing is solid.
Yeah, and like the whole like Estonia thing, I think brings a lot of interesting things with it, and so it's just sort of one of those things it's like the only reason I've used my Cryptopia account in the last year or so.
Me too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have some of it. I bought a long time ago and haven't really touched it since and won't, so I like that too a lot.
It's got a unique point to it, right, with the e-citizenship. That's so unique, and it's not like it's like a lot of these coins that do an ICO, it's not some kind of a promise that has nothing to it, right? They actually have something going here. So that to me is such a huge selling point. Once they get that exchange up and running, you know, it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next section. What's chapping our ass this week? This can be anything that's bothering you, something that's a pet peeve that's been, you know, nagging at you for a while. It can be crypto related, life related. Who wants to begin? We'll all get a little complaining in. It'll be nice.
Fucking transaction times on Bitcoin.
Has yours
Still waiting
gone
from
through
yesterday
yet?
morning, dude.
That's ridiculous.
Did you try the via Bitcoin transaction accelerator?
How does that work? Like, what do you just put in like a fee and it kind of like speeds your shit up?
Yeah, so I tried it out. I had a transaction pending the other day for about 16 hours, and I was getting pretty sick of waiting. So I ended up checking them out. Now there's a couple others out there, but they're going to try to charge you. But from what I've seen is they could just be scams. So if it tries to charge you, don't pay it. But via Bitcoin, they have a transaction accelerator, and pretty much you just take the transaction ID, and they toss in 100 transactions every block, pretty much. And if you give the transaction ID, they'll put that transaction ID into the next block. Sometimes, you know, you don't get lucky and it's full. It's kind of a first come, first served situation. So you kind of got to be watching it. But yeah, it was awesome. Like, I know I used it for the first time, and within 20 minutes, after waiting 16 hours, once I used that, within 20 minutes, my Bitcoin transaction was confirmed. So definitely something to look into.
Cool. All right. Anybody else have anything that's been bothering them? Anything annoying? Anything they want to call out within crypto Twitter, in life? Anything? Bully, what do you think?
Stop fucking DMing me.
No, do not.
I got so many DMs yesterday. My phone was just out of control. I think I was at like 30% battery by 11 a.m. or something. And, you know, part of this is because of that fake giveaway and everyone else sending me. But I shouldn't even say it because the more I complain about it, the more people are going to send idiots my way. But it just astounds me that somebody would email or like message.
You have some of the dumbest followers on
really
crypto Twitter.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think you have some of the dumbest followers in crypto Twitter, if not easily the dumbest, I would say?
It's a really good question. I think that a lot of people have screwed with me and like sort of did these fake giveaways, and so then people will follow me. Sort of the people that sort of, I guess, would fall for that. And email a complete stranger asking for money. So I suppose it's...
But their kids are hungry, Bully. Have some compassion.
I know, I'm a monster.
Yeah, if pretty much anybody who DMs me thinks I'm clicking any link, like no matter how legitimate it looks, it's not happening. So you can keep trying.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to open the message. I'm not going to click the link. So good luck. But yeah, some of the attempts are very bold. I actually almost fell for a fake Eric Voorhees. I think that's how you say it. A fake Eric Voorhees account. It looked legitimate. It had around the same number of followers, so keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. People will make a fake account,
Jesus.
and build followers and buy followers up to the amount that the real account has, so it looks pretty much exactly like it. It goes back to OPSEC. Just something to keep an eye out. And it's easy to fall victim to that kind of stuff, you know, so.
Oh,
yeah, don't click on links.
Yeah.
Ever.
So many phishing scams.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and unrelated to crypto, another thing that's chapping my ass is the Badgers being ranked 8th nationally when they are undefeated in the Big Ten. Dale knows all about this. Well, yeah, 9-0 now after thumping Iowa last night, right, Dave? Or Dale?
That was disgusting. I couldn't hardly watch that shit.
I had a great time.
Great.
I don't hear it, and I was thinking for a while, I'm like, oh, it's Wisconsin 17, Josh Jackson 14.
Right. Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, my team is USC, who, true to form this year, was a perennial underperformer. We go into the season, I think, ranked number 4. I was thinking national championship. I was thinking Heisman Trophy for Sam Darnold. And, I mean, we're all right, but, I mean, when you're SC, I think you gotta make it to the championship where everybody thinks you suck. It's like being the Yankees or the Cowboys, so.
Yeah, and you guys
Or the
got
Cubs.
thumped by Notre Dame, right?
SC?
Yeah.
I don't even remember, dude. I've been, like, so checked out this season. Terrible fan, but ever since we, like, started losing in the beginning, I was like, fuck this season. But Notre Dame got blown out by Miami last night. Anybody see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
The
They got their
convicts
asses
versus
kicked.
criminals game.
Guys, I'm in Canada. We don't do football. I don't even know what you guys are talking about right now.
We're not talking about soccer when we say football.
Maybe we're alienating some of our listeners.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Like, fuck you guys. Like, we're
It's
not
okay,
all in the
listeners.
U.S.
Well, what?
I don't know what's going on either.
So what's chapping my ass is the thirsty dudes that always comment on chicks or, you know, alleged catfish or whatever they are. You know, like you see Colleen post something on Twitter and maybe like 100 dudes just responding like, you want to see my dick or just stupid shit like that. It's like, come on, get yourself together.
I love it. It's entertainment.
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's highly
It's
entertaining.
cringy, but it's
Oh, jeez. I feel bad for them sometimes.
You know, the internet's done some pretty amazing things for individual self-confidence on stuff they'll say to people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it goes back to the OPSEC thing. Maybe don't send pictures of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. All right, so I mean, I think we're brushing up on like the 35-minute mark here, guys. I mean, I think we could probably go quite a bit longer, but
Oh, Lord knows, yeah.
you guys thinking, sake of brevity, you know, I don't know if you guys are whatever, but I think this went pretty well. For everybody listening, this is our first go at this, so I'm kind of happy with how it turned out. I'm pretty happy, you know. I think it's only going to get better as we get the ropes, you know, and kind of get the hang of it, get to know each other a little better.
Absolutely.
We're going to look to have some great guests going forward. Keep an eye out for that. Bully, awesome first guest. So thank you very much, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Bully.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Bully.
Yeah, for like a final swim off, anybody have any parting thoughts they want to give out to the listeners, or anybody want to add anything to that?
Don't get liquidated.
Yeah. Sort of along those lines. Dale mentioned it earlier when he got profits from Ethereum, he quickly gave them back. My biggest losses in crypto have come after a really big gain. So, that's like my biggest advice to new people is like, if you do make money, keep it and like step back, don't do something stupid, stick to your plan and just, make sure you're not just giving it all back to the market straight away.
Yeah, even to touch on that, I found for myself, because I think everyone kind of goes through that bit, and it's kind of an emotional thing. At times you get a little overconfident. So for me, it was just kind of like the 24-hour rule. After I had a good trade, I would make sure, I don't touch anything for 24 hours. So kind of lets my emotions settle down a bit and keep a clear head, right?
And to piggyback on that, do your own damn research.
Yes.
All right.
Seriously.
Get out there, read the white paper, or skim through the white paper at the very least. Read up on technical analysis. Don't rely on other people to help you. Help yourself.
Yeah, agreed. I think for yourself is another thing too. Don't take a narrative just because it seems to be the popular narrative on crypto Twitter or Reddit or whatever your favorite Telegram group is. Think for yourself. If you really truly believe something, and try to put yourself in other people's shoes. Think about how other market participants will try to act, and then react to what that is. Not necessarily. It's kind of like first versus second level thinking. And that's a concept that Howard Marks talks about in terms of finance. So you can kind of read up on his thoughts on it. Super interesting stuff with financial theory. I think it applies to crypto as well. So good stuff all around. Bully, thank you again. Dale, Prince, good job everybody. I'm super happy with how this turned out. Looking forward to more in the future. And listeners, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
And shout out to obviously everybody in the pod. I think we have all had an amazingly fun time with the thing. The pod is our Telegram group for anybody that doesn't know. We've grown it really, really quickly, I think, over the past just 2 or 3 weeks since we started it. Super entertaining. It's a good mix of shit posting, charts, financial theory, market theory, good mix of everything.
It's got it all.
Politics.
Yeah.
It's got it all.
Politics. We got some good, we got some big guys in there on Twitter. We've got Sir TT, Bully. We're all in there. Luke.
We got Venture Coinist, or Luke Martin now.
Venture, yeah. A lot of heavy hitters.
Zizu just came in and, Donnie.
Oh yeah, he did just get in there, didn't he?
Ethereum addict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the horse is in there. Can't forget Rand.
Yeah. Rand.
Yeah, Rand's in there. And the beaten puppy Nike. Well, Mike now.
Beast.
Doxed himself.
He did.
Questionable move. I don't know.
Questionable
That was a quick
move,
doxing.
Mikey.
New to the scene. The self-dox. I'm kind of surprised, but...
I
Self-thought.
think he got tired of being told to go back to his kennel.
Well, he's still holding a dog, so he's like holding on to the remnants of his prior personality. He's not quite willing to jump off the ledge yet, but...
So guys, I'm not a real dog, alright?
Anyway, thank you everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good weekend.
Alright.
Bye.